Hello everyone, happy Wednesday, or whatever day you're joining me actually. Sometimes things don't come up in the YouTube feed the way I would prefer. Anyway, I'm using the Golden Dreams Linamon, and I'm asking, I already read on the future of Social Security, and Medicare is a part of that, as well as Social Security disability. So this one, I'm going to read on Medicaid only. I get the feeling, I know for sure, actually, that each state has its own specific rules, and if you've already qualified, if you already have SSDI, often you get Medicare after a couple of years with it. And then I'm not positive about this part, but I think if you qualify, because of income, then sometimes you can have Medicaid supplement in there as well. So correct me if I'm wrong on that, but at least that's what I'm getting by pouring through tons of information that's online. Like, people are known as being like having dual eligibility. So this reading is to try and see because here's the main problem. The GOP, okay, the good news is it turns out that they've ruled out big cuts to Social Security, probably because that's friggin' illegal, right? Social Security and Medicare, but they're turning their sights on trying to get $880 billion from Medicaid over the next 10 years to reduce, I guess, about $4.5 trillion in tax cuts that Trump wants to give to the wealthy. And Elon Musk thinks that Medicare and Social Security are Social Security. When you get Medicare with it later, but he thinks it's all a big Ponzi scheme. Mr. Ketamine Brain, sociopath who has no empathy for anyone other than, he doesn't even care about himself. There's no way. He just cares about his money and his pride. Okay. So how's it going to go? Are we going to have massive cuts to Medicaid? How is it going to go? Right there. Okay, the book. Well, actually, let me just go ahead and get the cards laid out first. Otherwise, because they go together. Things go together. And I like working from a spiral to the outside. Let's see. Actually, I got a little bit here. I hope you guys can see these cards. It's a nice deck because there are extra cards. It's like an extended deck. And I thought it would be good for this particular question. Let's see. Actually, I do need to come in. That's the other problem, though, is they are, actually, here's a traditional Lenormand size card. That's how big this deck is. But it shuffles really nicely, as you can see. Okay, so big picture here. Oh, yeah, that boy. Okay. Sorry it's taking me so long. This mat, I don't have the same slide, I can tell. Okay, so this is interesting. All right, so how's it going to go for Medicaid? they are examining change. They're pouring through text. They're pouring through, they're really just examining everything. They're researching as to what they really could do. But, there's an unknown factor with this card when it comes to timing. So they're trying to be really discreet and they're trying to be quiet while they see what changes they can make that could be very abusive as to the protections that have been in place. How it's going to go for Medicare, for Medicaid, we have movement. And then with the lilies, we've got the issue of, I'm knighting, these 4 cards out from the center card. We have changes, and the movement goes towards, this is the most elderly. This would be the ones who are, I would think, the most vulnerable. But then there's something small. It could also be, trying to make small changes. But they're opening up. They're opening up Pandora's box, and so there's all this darkness coming up. I think that this is more like the darkness of it is. Now, normally Pandora's box is like the darkness bubbles up and then the light comes through. But what this is, I'm seeing, is that the dark ones trying to look in to see what they can take. So that's interesting. And then here we have our government card here. And this is literally the institution of, in this situation, it would be the institution of Medicaid. If I stick right here with the, what's at the heart of the reading, we're talking looking into, like trying to maybe sweep some things out. What movement can they make? But they've got the public on them. And here we are at the full moon eclipse, right? I mean, what is today? Today the 11th or 12th or what? I've lost track. Yeah, today's the 12th. So we have it happening, we've been in the eclipse window for the last 2 weeks. But anyway, it happens tonight, really late tonight, 5 minutes before midnight Pacific time. And it's at like 24 degrees of Virgo, which is that examination type of energy here, right in the center. So I think they're looking into what laws, what can they do legally? What changes can they do legally? But it's a state-by-state basis issue. And here we have the eclipse, the change, and they're trying to do, we've got this like continuing resolution that goes through September. So this could have us in, because the eclipses, we have a lunar and then a solar. And then a little while later, we have another one. This could get us into the next one that I think is in September, actually. So that's an interesting little connection there. Because we could have some timing in here. So, but I do feel that they're trying to like connect and commit and bring something around full circle that minimizes, damage to the public but also the Archway card has to do with change and transformation and letting go of things to get over the threshold. So they're planning on minimizing in a way that keeps people back and can't let them be over the threshold, is what I'm feeling like. There's a higher boundary for income thresholds, but then again too, we do have, the doggy up here is very protective and helpful. It's also my card for vets, veterinarians and veterans, literally. Nurses, doctors, any therapists, any helpful, this would be physical therapists, this would be, they're trying to destroy. They're trying to destroy everything. And then meanwhile, we've got this flippin' asshole literally trying to sell Teslas for the ketamine KKK Nazi bastard in front of the White House. That has to be illegal, right? So, as far as Medicaid, though, I feel like there's some states there's going to be some protections. They're going to work hard to try and protect and minimize the loss, but it's also in some states, I think mostly rural states, are going to be, they're going to change like the threshold in a way that, because of this line here, like this is our threshold card, okay? And then these two angles all speak to, so we're talking change in commitments to meet a threshold, and then elderly and it's just mostly elderly here. Elderly, it would minimize the elderly people that can't make it over a certain threshold of requirements. That's the real problem there. Just opening up the reading over here, we've got the public. So what's going to happen is a good portion of the public will go through change, and it will be abusive. It will be not nice at all. I think the changes would be in helping people who are in, people that are going through therapy that has to do with addiction, people that are going through physical therapy. Something's going to be minimized there. Okay, so here's what I'm saying ahead of time, before I go through all the rest of the details here. Contact your state's Medicaid agency and find out what you can do, what protections you do have, and what may be cut. Do your best to find out what you may be up against. If you have a physical therapist, if you need, you know what I mean? If you're in those situations, this could literally be, like by the 20th of the month, there's a change that is hard on people who need to have that repetitive support. We have decisions here. The crossroad leads to the choices and the decisions that end. Public, I would think, support. Also, there's a real challenge with the timing here, because some people are going to miss opportunities. Here's what's really awful is, we pay with our FICA deductions from our paychecks none of this is any friggin' entitlement. Elon Musk is he's mistaken, he's stupid, he's a monster, he's like the darkest of the dark. No wonder he has all these problems. So can you imagine paying in? Can you imagine being like 65 and you're going to retire at 70 and you've been paying in all your life, and now they're going to change some things around? There are going to be so many class action lawsuits just from these guys messing around. I mean, there's already one. Hold on. Here we go. Tiffany Flick. She worked for the Social Security Administration for almost 30 years. And she's retired now, but she's suing. So this is, there you can see, if you want to screenshot this and find it online and download it, it's quite interesting. There's the case number, the document number, and she filed it March 7th. And it's in the Maryland Court, Northern Division of Maryland Court. And it's by the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO. And they're suing the Social Security Administration for letting in this guy, his name's Russo, who doesn't have any qualifications. But anyway, this is quite interesting, and this is just one to get us started. I would think that there's going to be quite a bit more, because this is abuse. The book can be literally throwing the book at the government for minimizing something that's been pure and loving and a social safety net for people who have paid the money into it, or their parents have paid the money into it and then they died and you've got a child left surviving, because it's not just, it's Social Security survivors and, disability too. There's so much in there. So, over time, some people are going to miss out, probably. But, I mean, if you're close to being able to get in the system, I would go ahead and just get in there. The notion of staying back now, with everything that's happening politically, the notion of holding back and working until you're 70 so that you can get more benefits, I would not count on that. I would not even trust any of that. Because we don't know what deep, deep damage they're doing already. And I would get your paperwork in. I would get things filed and do the best you can. Because time's a wasting with this card for the public. We've got a crossroads here where a choice needs to be made. And this is also a card that's, handles it. It's the stand-in card for elections. But this card is about making a decision now and taking control of your life, and weigh your options and figure out what you need to do. And this is the whole public going through that. And then time's a wasting, because it's all about your money. But Medicaid as it stands now, I mean, I have a painful loss here and an ending, and the need to, with the keyhole card, this is a card of endings. So to have, we've got double endings here. You know, this is an ending here, ending and loss. And then with this one, you have to get through something, having a hard time maybe making a decision is here. And it's, you know, it's got us spinning in our minds because it's, you know, because this is abuse for this to even be happening. This is literally abusive. This is terrorizing people. Yeah, I mean, you know, imagine being a grandmother taking care of of a child because you lost your daughter or they lost both parents or what. I mean, in COVID, like imagine all of these awful situations, and then you've got the richest man on the planet. This is terrorism. So anyway, we need to commit and do the best that we possibly can to partner up with legal situations to minimize something that's you know, eating away at our hearts. And this is affecting, with the Stars card, this is connecting to people all over. And it is especially all about, you know, besides the Stars card, one of the keywords is the distant future. If we care about the distant future of people in America, we will work to, you know, get rid of these. I mean, what do they used to be in the old days, like the robber barons? Well, isn't that Leon? Isn't that the muskrat? Isn't that the Nazi ketamine kid? Or old man, actually, now. But he's not any brighter than a child. And you know what? I think children are way brighter than him, actually. So anyway, time's a wasting. We have to rid this terrorism, but we have to look deeply into our own resources and our own light and be very creative and just keep doing that over. You know, we need a lot of that type of flow. And also, caring for the elderly would be helpful. The Tower card here reminds me of the institutions of, you know, nursing homes. These two cards connecting. And then with the dog here, we're talking nurses who work in the nursing homes. And what about them? This whole thing just enrages me to the point where I can't even grok how evil a person must be, how disconnected from their heart that they may be to want to take from people trying to survive. They're not, I mean, these people are not rich anyway. If they're on Medicaid, they're having trouble already. But no, the GOP, the greedy old perverts, they want to take from children and elderly and put it into their own coffers just to get tax cuts for the wealthiest of the wealthy on the planet. You know, you're talking the billionaires, and the ones that make them, you know, the millions too. I mean, there's that. If they're making, I think what is it? I forget. Is it $750 million a year, or is it only 750,000? It might be that. But still, I mean, think it through. The people I know that make a lot of money, they're very generous. So this could all be about paying things forward, helping as much as we can, try to help people get through this most challenging time, especially the children and the elderly, like I said, and those who take care of them. So what I don't have here is the scythe. The scythe would tell me big cuts. But what I'm getting at, what I'm seeing is smaller changes, but they keep trying to do it. This is something we're always going to have to be watching for. And I'm not looking at this so much as being stealing. Well, they are trying to literally steal from the poor to give to the rich. Because, that's what kind of people I wouldn't even call them people. That's what kind of subhumans we're dealing with. But, but it's just, well, I'll just stop with that. But so I'm seeing this as more as minimizing. They're minimizing they're going to minimize the elderly and the most vulnerable. And we have to pick up the slack and help where we can. So, I would say this is a warning ahead of time. If you have an elderly person in a nursing home, they might get some funding cut. But maybe it's a nursing home that, we can go visit and we can take things in to help and support if they allow that, You know what I'm saying? If you have a loved one there, or maybe you would end up trying to bring them home if you possibly can. And committing and giving to children's, like Feed the Children. There are so many organizations. So I wish I had something better. But what I'm getting just logically from all the research I've done to get me to this place is that it's on a state-by-state basis. And the cuts are going to hurt the rural states the most. But it hurts my heart because I don't feel like they're going to have the ability to fight back. Hopefully the adult children of the grandparents will fight back, and also for their kids, their grandkids, things like that, and anybody that can. So, okay, I'm just going to get this uploaded. I don't have anything else to say with this, and I hope I'm totally wrong, and they scrap their trying to siphon off $880 billion from Medicaid over the next 10 years. But you know what? It's like death by 1,000 little cuts, because, I don't have the scythe here to show like a big cut, a big decision. I've got the decision that's repetitively small, but it still goes to the same place. At least we'll have some time, I suppose. Hopefully it doesn't hurt somebody so bad. What I'm not seeing, though, is like they totally cut it out. I'm seeing little cuts. So like over the next 10 years, right? Because, Trump's tax cuts started in 2017. He's trying to make sure it's in there for 2027. He won't be alive that long. So, okay, I'm done. Big hugs, you guys. Take good care. Bye.